How's it going, YouTube? Oxy here, and welcome back. So, got almost like an update or a part two video. So, about a month ago, I did predicting what we will see at the Xbox showcase, right? Coming up in less than a week. This is upcoming Sunday, June 11th, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern on this side. And yeah, I made a prediction, and it was pretty, like, at the time what I thought. But there have been some big updates in the terms of what this show will have, or what it's about. So I thought it was worthwhile enough to, like, do like an updated idea. Because the two important things that we know, roughly, I guess the first one, get out the way. It'll be roughly 2 hours long, which is okay, right? That's about average, I would say. It's anywhere from the 1 hour to 2 hour mark. I'm assuming that's just the showcase, not including the Starfield directing that it's like immediately after. So Starfield has its own thing. Obviously, it won't be part of it. I don't see why. It's like if you're dedicating, like an after stream, it's like, why do that? So that one's safe, won't be in it. But then the other important thing, which was very interesting, which is exciting, after the admittedly disappointing, to say the least, the PlayStation showcase they had in May, which, yeah, most of the games are multi-platform and people just weren't too excited, it seemed. But the important thing is that when it comes to Xbox first party, so studios they own, they have confirmed there will be no full CGI trailers. Again, they're first party, so anything from an outsider, Capcom, Ubisoft, those will have the possibility of CGI trailers, but first party, they will be like in-engine gameplay footage only, which is very exciting. Oh, sorry, the third important thing so that's exciting. All the first party stuff is going to be like gameplay or in-engine, so it's like what the game will actually look like. Like, they aren't selling us the idea. We're actually going to see what we're going to get. But the other thing is that it is not locked to the next 12 months. So, the idea is that, I guess, usually, which both of those things in combination, I should say, is like exciting, because usually these showcases show things that are like 2, maybe even 3 years ahead. But it's a CGI trailer. It's like an announcement, like, oh, it's coming eventually, right? Which happened like in the 2021 with like all the games, like Fable, Avowed, Outer Wilds 2, Everwild, all of those, right? Perfect Dark, like some of these we haven't heard anything since then. So they confirmed it's not the next year, like it's beyond that. So 2 years, maybe more. And everything we're going to see is in engine. So even if it's like 2 years out, we're going to see what it looks like at this stage. Now, that's a long time and it could update, obviously, but it's nice to show that they're being more transparent. And yeah, especially with, again, Sony kind of dropping the ball, it's definitely Xbox's time to shine. But so the obvious ones are like, okay, all the ones that we haven't heard from anything, right? So that being Fable is like a big one. I know there was like a tweet that I believe it was Matt Booty, like the head of Xbox, right? Or one of the higher ups, they put out a tweet, and it was essentially like had some like enchanting music and dust, which in the Fable teaser, right, it was like a fairy. So it's like, okay, is it fairy dust? So it's implying we should see Fable, which, hey, I know a lot of people, of course, the Xbox 360 mainly. Fable was like one of Xbox's big exclusives, and like people really loved it because I know you could be good or evil, and like, there's always the fun in that, and like these RPGs or that sort of thing. So that's one that's like, okay, I definitely believe that. I know one I feel like we have to is Senua Saga, like Hellblade 2. Because I know the first one was like an indie game critically acclaimed. Like people love that game, and I haven't played it yet, but I know it's one that's like everyone says play with headphones because it really sells the idea of. I believe the character suffers from psychosis or something, or like kind of like schizophrenia, right? And it's like she hears voices and all that. And it's like an interesting look at like what mental illness, how people dealt with that back then, right? Where like back then it was like, oh, you were possessed or something. So Senua, I heard a rumor maybe October it'll be a release. That's one that I'm like, we probably will get the release date like here. Um, we've seen Forza Motorsport. We'll probably see it again, right? And finally get the date because the last in the January little showcase they had, the one that where Hi-Fi Rush came out. They just gave us 2023. Maybe we'll finally get a release date for Motorsport. I mean, it looks gorgeous. I mean, racing games always do. Outer Wilds 2, I don't know. For some reason, I feel like that one's just far off. I think the Avowed team, being that it's like a new IP, they might go for that. They're hyping it up, like, so we'll see. I mean, I can't really say anything. A lot of these we just had like a CGI trailer, so with Avowed, it's like I don't know how it's gonna play. Will it be like Skyrim? Maybe, but it'd be cool. Obsidian's really good. Of course, they did the first Outer Worlds. Sorry, I said Wilds. Outer Worlds and Fallout New Vegas, of course, is probably their most famous game. So, yeah, I think we'll see Avowed. I mean, hey, both would be awesome, but I'm leaning Avowed will be guaranteed, whereas Worlds 2 is like, they could hold off maybe until next year. Perfect Dark. That's one that I'm like, yeah, I would love to, because of course it's originally a Rare property back on the N64, and there was the Xbox 360, the launch title, Perfect Dark Zero, which is a pretty average game, all things considered. So it's interesting, I mean, the little concept trailer looked awesome, so it'd be nice to see what has come up. But I've heard that game has had some development issues, so who knows? That's one I wouldn't be surprised if it's not here. But again, it'd be cool to see like what we're gonna do, or like what this new version is gonna be. I guess some reveals or stuff that we probably should get, but I don't know. It's just more in the iffy for me. It's Software, their next game. I mean, when they were just Bethesda before being bought by Microsoft, they were the only studio I cared about. I would watch the Bethesda showcases only for them, of course, for Doom Eternal. And at the end of Ancient Gods Part 2, the Doom Eternal DLC, spoilers, the Doomslayers essentially put to rest. Similar to Halo 3 with Master Chief, where it's like, wake me when you need me. It's kind of in that vein, the idea being we won't see the Slayer for a while. And it's been heavily rumored it's a Quake reboot. Not necessarily the multiplayer like Quake 3, more so like 1, which we haven't had one set in that like Lovecraftian setting. So that's awesome. I'm really excited for that. Of course, they recently remastered the original Quake, so it's on Xbox and PC, a new version. So that's, it lends more to that. That's one that I'm like, that's a highlight of the show for me. Id Tech's probably gonna be on 7. I mean, maybe unless they've made 8. Always looks stunning. So visually, it's gonna be awesome, and the gameplay. I mean, Doom Eternal, easily one of the best shooters ever. Like, check it out for yourself. So that's one that I'm like, I hope so. Which I do feel like it's time. Yeah, Eternal came out in 2020, 2023. Maybe not this year, probably get released next year, but just show us what you've been working on. That's the one I'm probably like most hoping for. And then a Hail Mary, I'm pretty sure I mentioned in the other video, was like a Killer Instinct 2. The original, or this rebooted game in 2013 was an Xbox One launch title. And of course, it was a free to play with seasons. And at first, it was pretty bare bones, but over time, it truly, and I mean this, like, I do think it's one of the greatest 2D fighters of all time. The netcode, like, seriously, people kind of, so yeah, like Street Fighter 4 was doing like passes, right, or like DLC, but Killer Instinct, the Xbox exclusive fighter, was really pioneering the whole season thing that you saw like in Tekken 7, Mortal Kombat, like all of those. Like it was really one of the first. Again, it was a launch title. It was free to play and it was like seasons. And yeah, that game, the netcode especially, of course, rollback, but that game, like that game's netcode was so good that you could have offline players. No, sorry, online players. Online only, show up to tournaments and still dominate because the netcode is that good. Like it's, yeah, seriously, if you have not played it, check it out. Very simple combo system. Well, easy entry, high skill ceiling because it does get, yeah, super fun. And then now with like all the companies Microsoft owns, like we could have the Doom Slayer in there, like the guest characters alone just from Microsoft properties is insane that they could have. They did it a little bit, right? They had Rash, Arbiter from Halo, General Rom from Gears, but then they could have the Slayer. If the Activision deal closes soon, they could have like, I don't know, someone from World of Warcraft. Like they could do so much. And yeah, it's just a market Microsoft never really like covers. So a proper sequel, but as I always say, like give it a big budget. Like I want to see it like on some NetherRealm like Mortal Kombat budget, like a big AAA fighter. Like that would be awesome. We'll see. There was rumors that Arc System Works was possibly developing that for Microsoft. They're the guys behind Guilty Gear. So I don't know. I mean, again, that would be awesome. That's one that like the game was made as like it started out as a like live arcade title, right, for the 360, but then eventually got over to the Xbox One, and it's like it did really well for them. It was very profitable, and it's like that's one that like it's brought up every year, and it's like when are we gonna see a new one? And it's like the potential is there. I honestly, if I was them, if Iron Galaxy, the studio that took over the development, if they could get them back, that's perfect. Those guys really understood like what makes a good fighter, and yeah, that's one that I would like, pop off for. But we'll see. But yeah, nothing too crazy, I know, because we'll see if there's any surprises. But that's really it. Oh, I guess one I should mention before is I know Machine Games was working. The people who make Wolfenstein, the new ones, was working on Indiana Jones title. And I mean, hey, the 5th movie is coming out this year, so we'll probably get a look at that. I mean, marketing wise, it makes sense. Hype up the movie, and then hey, a game, Xbox exclusive. I mean, it makes all the sense in the world. So we'll probably see that, because I heard that they are ramping up for the eventual Wolfenstein 3, because of course that was put off for this new Indiana Jones game. So we'll see. But yeah, guys, I know it's not too like surprising. Yeah, I expect to see like things that got announced like years ago and then we never got an update. It's like it's about time. But it's nice to know that all of them will be in engine, or at least gameplay, so it's not just another CGI trailer. But yeah, guys, let me know, are you excited? Are you, any games I didn't mention that you're looking out for? And yeah, I hope you enjoyed. If you like this type of content, I make new videos every Tuesday and Saturday, usually. So please be sure to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that good jazz. And as always, everyone, I've been your host, Oxy. Take care, and I'll see you next time.